Rhythm games. You know them, the games where you have to play to the rhythm. Which is crazy, who'd have thought that? Now there are a lot of rhythm games. Each one of them have their own unique spin to them. DDR has you using your feet to hit to the rhythm of the song. Mania games like Eternal No Mania use your fingers instead. You get my point. These games clearly show where the rhythm part is. But there are some games that don't do that, but advertise themselves as rhythm games anyways. Or maybe people think they are rhythm games, but they are wrong. Anyways, for this video, we want one definition of a rhythm game to determine if a game is a rhythm game or not. So we will use the Wikipedia definition of a rhythm game. Rhythm game, or rhythm action, is a genre of music-themed action video game that challenges the player's sense of rhythm. We will focus on that challenges the player's sense of rhythm part, which we will use to determine if the game at hand is a rhythm game or not. I've played quite the amount of rhythm games, and there were some games that, well, that didn't turn out my rhythm game autism mechanism in my brain, because they are not rhythm games. They are advertised or thought of by a large amount of people as rhythm games, but are not. They don't challenge your sense of rhythm. And you might be on mute for like 5 seconds, but yeah, that's all. And I'm here to list a few rhythm games that people think are rhythm games, but are not rhythm games. Yeah, let's start yapping. Geometry Dash, probably the...
Hello there, I'll be taking over now, frogs. Synox will be asleep for a while. Now, Geometry Dash. I don't think I need to explain this game to you guys. Probably played it when you were a kid, or even maybe now, grinding endlessly to get a certain placement of pixels on your screen. Kinda like Mania. We're addicts after all. Now I know there are a lot of people that think GT is a rhythm game because of the game being a platformer and having music and also being on beat occasionally in levels like the first ever level, Stereo Madness. You're jumping to the beat occasionally, but is it enough to make it a rhythm game? No. This is wrong. I mean, yes, sometimes, and I repeat, sometimes you're on beat, but that's not enough to make it a rhythm game. Let's go back to our definition. A game which challenges the player's sense of rhythm. Now, let's check GT gameplay. Now, where does it challenge your sense of rhythm? Yeah, nowhere. Some players don't even turn on music when playing the game. That's how unimportant it is. While in Mania you can turn off music and be fine, your accuracy will not be. Now in conclusion, Geometry Dash is not a rhythm game, it's a music-based platformer, but if you want an actual rhythm game platformer, go play a Dance of Fire and Ice. It's Geometry Dash if it was actually a rhythm game, but instead of squares, you're a ball. So be there or be ball. This video is not sponsored, I just really like the game. Go play it, it's like a few dollars, please! Anyways, next up is... Catch the beat. More like catch the balls, am I right?
Ew. I stepped in shit. Let's get into it. Let's talk about Catch the Beat now. Or CBT, I mean CTB. Most people call it Catch, so you'll call it that. It was the third mode ever added to Osu. With a pretty simple premise. Catch to the beat. Pretty easy to understand. And that's all literally. Here's the gameplay. You have to move this creature to catch the balls. But this is also just a Geometry Dash problem all over again. You simply are not on beat the entire map. If you have to point out when you are on beat, then it's not a rhythm game. I've tried it myself. Of course, I was pretty bad. But when I played, I didn't really feel like I was on rhythm. Of course, there'll be like 5 seconds where I can feel it, but then it just goes back to normal, hitting to nothing, just catching those balls. But that was what I felt. So I was like, let me ask other people what they feel. I didn't want just normal players, so I asked some good players too. And I asked Azakril, the #1 Bulgarian catch player, and they said this. They said it's more like Geometry Dash, and even at the top levels, it's very rare that it would be sync. And I also asked my frogs on Discord, and they said no. And I also asked my frogs on YouTube, and with over 500 votes, yes, it's a rhythm game one, by only 2%. It was tied for a long time though, but you frogs are wrong. I'm right, it literally is not a rhythm game, you don't feel the rhythm. That's all I found in my research. Do you think it's a rhythm game? Comment your opinion. And to the 4 catch players watching this, I'm sorry. Anyways, next is... Anyways, frogs, next we have is just shapes and...
Anyways, frogs, we'll talk about Just Shapes and Beats, a game which is about shapes and beats. Yeah, the game's description says Just Shapes and Beats is a chaotic co-op music bullet hell based on 3 simple things: avoid shapes, move to kick-ass music, and die repeatedly. The game is basically a bullet hell where you can control this little square and try to dodge the obstacles. Not gonna lie, it reminds me when I used to play Kaizo Mario. And there is also the word rhythm in the tags, which, no offense to the developers, is wrong. This game is not a rhythm game, for one simple reason: there is no rhythm. When you play the game, you don't really feel like you're hitting to anything. You are mostly focusing on dodging and not focusing on being on rhythm. And there is literally no accuracy indicator in the game, so how are you supposed to know that you are on beat? And with our definition, a game which challenges the player's sense of rhythm, this game absolutely fails at it. But yeah, the game is awesome, like, these songs are really good, and the game is epic, but at the end of the day, it's not a rhythm game, in my opinion, which is Sinuk's opinion because he wrote the script, but it's mine as well, so you can't really mix the bullet hell genre with the rhythm genre. The bullet hell genre is all about dodging everything that comes at you, but the rhythm genre is about rhythm and being on beat to the music, so you can't really mix those two genres. By logic, Touhou is a rhythm game, but yeah, the only thing in Just Shapes and Beats that are on beat is the bosses, and that's all really. At the end of the day, all of those games are bangers, and a lot of people seem to like them, but they are promoted as rhythm games without even being on rhythm. In my opinion, for real this time, they should be considered as music games rather than rhythm games. And this video is a warning to the developers that want to make a rhythm game. Make sure it's actually on rhythm. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any other non-rhythm games, you can comment. Also subscribe to my channel, MouseLoopKK. I'll make sure Saiki puts the link in the description. But yeah, bye bye frogs, it was nice meeting you all.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to me too, frogs. Bye.